what ended up happening?
Well, what's interesting about this is, and I think I caught this last year, and I've been saying it for some years now as well. I've never been sold on Doc Rivers as a coach. I've never thought that Doc Rivers was a great coach. Like, people were like, oh, he's a Hall of Fame coach. I just don't see it, right? I truly don't. The Clippers over the past 5 years underachieved. They underachieved. They never made it to a Western Conference Finals. They've had plenty of talent. Even when they were healthy, they still didn't make it. They blew that 3-1 lead to the Houston Rockets that one season. And Harden had nobody on the team. It was him and Josh Smith. Like, come on, man. You can't lose to Harden and Josh Smith, But they lost. So, I've always thought that Doc Rivers was overrated. What I'm seeing right now is Jerry West, because Jerry West has came in and he's running the organization now. Jerry West is cleaning the house. I don't expect Doc Rivers to be there next year. I expect somebody new to be in there. And I expect the organization to start making a lot of changes and turning for the better. They'll probably be try to be players in the free agency this year, even though I don't think that the Clippers are really a great destination to go. So it'll really be Jerry West trying to sell somebody the organization. But if you see Jerry West's track record of building, championships in LA and then building championships in, up here in Golden State, with the Warriors, somebody will listen. All you need is just get one top free agent to come to your team, and that will start that'll make the dominoes fall in place.
Yeah. Now, so we got some comments in the chat room. That Ninja says they stripped Doc Rivers of his GM power, so obviously this isn't of his doing. Now, I partly agree with that, but he's still the coach. I know he doesn't have the GM powers anymore, but I believe he still has a say-so, or he still has some type of input. Then he says about not Blake Griffin, but DeAndre Jordan coming to Dallas, would he really be happy? I think partly he would, because he's from here. He grew up here. Of course, sometimes you don't want to be around your family and all that, but I think he maybe, I don't know if he would have been happier now because Dallas is not doing anything, but he accepted to the deal. Now, when everybody ran in his house and held him as hostage, then that's when he changed his mind. So, and Big L, yeah, what has Dallas done? What will Dallas do in the next 5 years? Probably nothing, because it's rebuild mode. Nobody can compete with Golden State, and that's it. All you're doing is trying to stack players, get picks, get somehow future picks or future players to try to compete, because you're not going to compete with the Warriors. And that's what the whole West is all about, honestly, right now. But I did want to move on to this, the next thing that went down from this week. Alex Smith getting traded. Getting traded to the Redskins. And then they guaranteed him $71 million over 4 years. So, obviously, the writing's on the wall. That's got to mean Kirk Cousins is out the door, free to sign with probably whatever team he wants to sign for. I don't think this was a smart move. Alex Smith hasn't been a top quarterback in his whole career. He's always been average to above average. He's always been average to above average. He had a decent season last year. Early on the season, it was great. Halfway through the season, and from there on, it kind of started to go downhill. It was a roller coaster. So what does this mean for Kirk Cousins? What do you think about this trade, first of all, and then where do you see Kirk Cousins going?
Well, first off, I think this is a great trade for Kansas City. I mean, we knew that the writing was on the wall for Alex Smith when Kansas City traded up to take Patrick Mahomes. So I already knew right there, and I was like, yo, this dude is going to replace Alex Smith either next year or in the middle of the season. But it's going to happen. The problem with Alex Smith, man, is Alex Smith is a game manager. He's a game manager. He's not, he's one of those players that he's going to put the ball in his playmaker's hands, and he wants him to make plays, but Alex Smith is never going to make the big throw. And if you're trying to compete for a ring, you need that quarterback that's going to make the big throw. I think that KC understood that, and that's why they moved on. Washington right now is not competing for a ring, and they know that. So for them, it's about stability. Alex Smith gives them stability at quarterback. While they can draft another quarterback, they're probably going to draft another quarterback and start grooming a quarterback. Alex Smith to be there. He won't play out the 4 years. He'll play out probably 2 years, 3 years at the most, and they'll end up moving him to the bench and or trading him again. But right now, that's just about stability for Washington. For KC, they get that other corner that they've been looking for to put on the side of Marcus Peters and Kendall Fuller. So they got a nice piece. They got a third-round pick out of it, too, which is great. So they'll draft another player to complement the defense more than likely. And I expect Kansas City's offense to take off next season because Patrick Mahomes he's going to look deep. You know, Andy Reid wants to push the ball downfield. He will push it downfield with Patrick Mahomes. Now, with Kirk Cousins is gone. It's over. Yeah. Kirk Cousins and Washington Redskins are no more. Washington Redskins didn't want to pay him that money anyway. They didn't want to pay him that. I think it was like $27 million for the transition tag and $35 million for the franchise. They didn't want to do that anyway. And Kirk Cousins is trying to push a hard line, and he wants to be paid like a top quarterback in the league. I don't know how he's going to get that, but he does have some options. You look at Denver. Denver has been trying to actively recruit him. You can see Minnesota trying to actively recruit him, and you can see Arizona probably trying to actively recruit him. Denver is not giving him that type of money, but Minnesota might and Arizona might. So we'll see. I think for me, like, I would love for him to go to Denver because I think that Denver is legitimately a quarterback away from winning a championship, and I think that Kirk Cousins might be that quarterback to get him over the top. But I would like to see him go to Minnesota. Minnesota has that crazy defense, man. That defense is crazy, and with Diggs and Thielen, whatever his name is, Thielen, and the tight end, they'll be able to throw that ball all over the field. And then you got Cook coming out the backfield. So Minnesota is really poised to make a legit run. And that might be his best opportunity to get a ring like real soon.
Yeah, I think he's going to Denver. I think Elway's already got him on the phone. They probably have already talked about this, and I think that's where he's going to go. They just need somebody to be a quarterback. What they have there, Paxton Lynch, is not good enough. I don't know if he'll ever be at that spot where they're confident in him. They're just not confident in Paxton Lynch. Trevor Siemian, obviously, he wasn't able to do it either. So I think that's what's going to end up happening. Now, with the Vikings, I don't think they need Cousins. I mean, they got Case Keenum, which I think he played very well this year. I don't know if that's going to duplicate to next year. I think also Teddy B's still right there. People forget Teddy B was a top quarterback when he was playing. Now, with his injury. So now I got to read this comment right here. That nigga says Cuddles is not a good quarterback, and anybody signs him is a fool. If Denver wants somebody, they should go after Jacoby Brissett. And I'm laughing because he said Cuddles, and then he put Cousins after that. But
I can even not be a quarterback. He's had 3 seasons with the past 3 seasons. He's thrown for over 4,000 yards. He has a positive touchdown to interception ratio. He almost has a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Like, he's playing well in the system. So I'm not like, am I telling you he's an elite quarterback? Nah, he's not an elite quarterback, which is the problem because he wants elite money and he's not an elite quarterback. But for a team like Denver, who doesn't need an elite quarterback, they have weapons. You just need somebody who can make the throws. He's a perfect fit. Or like Minnesota, they have weapons. He's a perfect fit. If you're looking at Kirk Cousins as a franchise savior, then I would agree with you. And it's like, nah, he's not that good because that's not how I'm gauging him or rating him. You know what I'm saying? a Tom Brady or a Aaron Rodgers or things like that. He's not that at all. Or Drew Brees. You know, he's not that at all. You know, but he is that quarterback that's like Joe Flacco. Like, Joe Flacco is like, he's an above average quarterback. He's not great, but he's not bad. And he can make throws when you need him to make throws. That's all you need from Kirk Cousins. Put him around the defense, let the defense go and do their work, and Kirk, don't turn over the ball, then you got a chance of winning every game. So I think those franchises are looking at that because they do have top-tier defenses, and they can use a quarterback like him who does not make many mistakes.
Yeah. All right, welcome some newcomers to the chat room. We got JY3, we got Sluggo. Let me see who else we got in here. We got Holly Newsom. Appreciate you coming through, RC. Appreciate everybody in the chat room. All right, so tonight the awards will be given out for NFL MVP, Offensive MVP, Defensive MVP, Rookie of the Year. So I do want to run through and kind of get your thoughts and opinions on who do you think is going to win the MVP, first of all. And look like it's a two-person race between Todd Gurley and Tom Brady. Now, Brady is leading in yards. There's only two other people behind him in touchdowns, and that's Wentz and Wilson that he's behind. Now, Todd Gurley on the other side, he was number one in yards with 2,093 and in touchdowns with 19. If I had to pick one between the two, I think I would give it to Todd Gurley. I think he has emerged as a threat, as a legit threat that it's going to be hard to cover out of the backfield, running game, everything. But I want to get your thoughts, first of all, on the MVP and who your pick is.
Well, for me, I agree with you. I think that Todd Gurley should win MVP. I think that he was more crucial to the turnaround of the Rams. The Rams were 12-4 this year or something like that. And they won their division. They were a really, really good team this season. And that was all based on Gurley and what he was doing, out the backfield. He made the job for the quarterback. I can't think of names right now.
Goff.
For Jared Goff. He made Jared Goff's life a lot easier this season. Jared Goff had a great season this season too. But a lot of that was because he was able to run the ball and catch out the backfield. So for me, my MVP would be Todd Gurley because I think he had the most impact on that team and in the league. But Tom Brady is in another Super Bowl. It's Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady. I don't really know what else to say. It's Tom Brady.
It's gonna be. I'm picking Gurley, but it's gonna be very difficult for me to believe though that he's actually gonna get the award because people's in love with Tom Brady, and to get past that is gonna be extremely difficult. But I do think Gurley should be the one to win it.
And what helps Tom Brady is the fact that he's 40. He's 40 years old doing this. Having he didn't have a career year, but he had one of those years that was like really, really good, like that. Passing the ball, moving the ball. And the system is they just switch players in and out. It doesn't matter what players you give Tom Brady. Somehow he gives you 4,000 yards. Somehow I don't know how. But somehow he passes and he puts up numbers regardless of who you give him. Me and you could probably play wide receiver for New England and and he still throw touchdowns right now. It's just something about Tom Brady. He makes it happen. So that works in his favor. Like I said, for me, I personally feel like Todd Gurley has the bigger impact, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked if Tom Brady got it. Personally, I thought that Carson Wentz was a front runner until he went down. It sucks that he went down. But Carson Wentz, this was Carson Wentz MVP right here. This was his MVP. He would have been walking with the MVP.
Yeah. All right, so we got a question in the chat room, and then I'm gonna let you go because I got somebody coming up on the show. But who That was